Hello everyone, welcome to the Modern Day Gamer. I'm Eric, and in today's episode I will be going over each light side hero from worst to first. Now this is just an opinion list, so if your favorite hero is not at the top of the list, don't get upset. But I feel it is a beginner's guide because I am a beginner. I just recently acquired this game and I'm still getting used to each hero. I am not going to let my bias show here though, as many of these heroes that I do like will not be ranking high, but I will be telling you along the way who I do and don't like just based off of feel. I am basing this off of HVV and Galactic Assault. So many of you may be able to guess who the top are. Now, make those guesses down in the comments below and let's get started. At number 8 we have the big Wookiee himself, Chewbacca. Chewbacca is a very niche character. He feels alright in HVV with his strong blaster, but really weak in Galactic Assault. Galactic Assault is really the place where you're going to be playing heroes way less, but when you play them way less, you want to make sure they count. Chewbacca's health and mobility make him a really big target for the enemies. They will just be able to shoot you down and keep you off the battlefield. That's not to say Chewbacca is a bad pick though, he's just the worst in Galactic Assault and not the best in Heroes versus Villains, which is very important. If he would rank higher if he was a better Heroes vs. Villains character, but there simply are just better in that area and very better in Galactic Assault. He really lacks in his stamina as well. It feels as though whenever he's running, he can't go faster than walking speed for certain classes, and his abilities are fairly weak. The only ability that I even liked using was his L1 and R1 ability. That ability allows you to charge up his bowcaster all the way and shoot enemies. Really though, it only works really well up close. Then we have number 7, Luke. Luke is a hero that is just really average at everything. While I like Luke, and I like playing him more than Chewbacca and the next couple on this list, Luke is really kind of weak in Heroes vs. Villains because his lightsaber doesn't do any damage. It feels as though his force abilities also aren't very strong. I don't really care for Luke's force push, and they lowered Luke's mobility in this game, so he's definitely not as fast. Still, he is one of the faster characters, but his health is a little low for the damage that he outputs. Luke struggles in Galactic Assault because his block is kind of terrible and really buggy. He has his Force Repulse, which really is the only thing that feels like it works really well on this character. Luke would definitely rank higher if he received a buff for his lightsaber damage and they figured out about his force push being really weak. At number 6, we have Lando. Lando is one of those characters who I know is better than Chewbacca and Luke, but I really don't like Lando. Lando is not fun for me to play at all, and yes, he is low on this list. It's only because he's not as good as the next characters coming up. Lando struggles in HVV, where his gun feels really weak against other heroes. While I do like the fact that he can throw smoke, hide himself, and then see through the smoke using his thermal sight, it's just not enough to bring this character any higher on the list. If Lando had some more health or a stronger gun, I might consider putting him higher. But since he doesn't, he's going to remain here at 6. And then we come to number 5 on the list, and that would be Leia Organa. Leia has the opposite problem of Lando. I feel as though her abilities are decent, her health is really low, her mobility is alright, but her gun is really strong. Now, the only reason she doesn't rank higher on this list is because her gun is not the strongest gun, and her abilities are definitely not the strongest. She struggles in HVV more than Galactic Assault. In Galactic Assault, she is a character that I would take a lot. She's very strong, with longer range, and her E11 blaster is really fun, even though it feels really weak. Her main pistol, though, has a secondary fire that allows you to basically blow enemies up on contact. I really enjoy using this secondary fire to get rid of those pesky heavy troopers whenever I feel that I have been cornered. At number 4, we have Yoda. Yoda is a character who is above average in Heroes vs. Villains and in Galactic Assault. Being a faster character because of his small stature, he is harder to hit, and he's more mobile. Yoda has a great dodge, and with the ability to absorb incoming blaster fire and use it on his force push, makes his force push feel really good and very strong. This force push can also one-shot most enemies and is really strong in HVV. His lightsaber, though, is the weakest part of his kit, needing a lot of times 2 to 3 hits to take down infantry, sometimes more. And whenever facing other heroes, if you can keep away from them and use your force abilities and heal up your teammate, that makes him a very strong character. Yoda is definitely a pick that I would pick if you were working with a group in HVV trying to win some games, because he needs a lot of teamwork to make things work. He is, although, a very fun character to play and definitely one of my favorites. At number 3, we have Han Solo. The smuggler here is absolutely incredible. His gun feels strong, being able to two-shot almost every infantry soldier that you come against, and one-shot most of them in the head. His blaster being that strong is also very good against other heroes, and his shoulder charge is super fun to use. He can hit up to 2, 3, 4 enemies if they're close enough, and that's really fun because it is a one-shot on infantry. Han also has an ability to make his gun not need a cooldown and shoot automatically, which is really fun, but seems to run out pretty quickly. The only knock I have against Han is I don't think his mobility is very good, and his health is pretty low. I wish that he had more health and a little bit more mobility, and he might top this list. But because of the fact that his escape is not the greatest and his health is pretty low, his survivability in Galactic Assault might be less than you had hoped for. Not having the squad shield of Leia, he's also not able to hide as well whenever he needs to gain his health back. But that's not a knock against him, because he's obviously higher than Leia. He is just not as high as our next 2 characters, which I'm sure you can guess that they were going to be at the top. Number 2 is Rey. Rey is a hero who is the best lightsaber user, period. She's better than Yoda, she's better than Luke. Do I think that's right? No, because Yoda is my favorite Star Wars character besides Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's not even in this game. Rey has an impeccable mind trick, and with her insight ability showing off of the radar and outlining the villains, I am able, as a colorblind person, to see the villains even in darker places where most people would normally see. This makes it really nice in Galactic Assault, so you can stay off the enemy radar for periods of time, and you can use this ability to plan out your attacks. Rey is a very strong character, and I would recommend using her in HVV, as her lightsaber is, yes, a bearer of averages, but still fairly strong. And you don't have to use your lightsaber more than 3 hits on infantry. Her Force Mind Trick ability is really great in HVV, giving you time to get a few good strikes in before they are able to figure out their controls. Her Insight ability, like I said, is probably the strongest part of her kit, and her last ability seems a little underwhelming. That's why Rey ranks number 2. Her last ability has a very long cooldown, which in this video you'll see I have the cooldown on fast, just so that I can use the abilities and try to get used to each character, and to make it a little bit easier to survive longer. But Rey's last ability has a slower cooldown, and it feels as though it's not very strong in HVV. Galactic Assault if you need to clear a room out really quickly, it will put you in a good position to do that. But I would recommend just using Insight, Mind Trick, and clear the room. It doesn't take much longer than using that ability. That ability might be a good way to escape from some things, but I never found it that useful. That's enough about Rey being the new protagonist in all of the Star Wars movies. Now, she is getting a lot of spotlight, and I don't want to give her any more. At number 1, we have Finn. Finn is absolutely perfect. He works in Galactic Assault and in HVV, which is incredible. All of his abilities feel like they work really well with his kit. Finn's big deal is one of the strongest abilities in the game. And he has his healing aura that gives him extra armor whenever he activates this. He also has an ability that makes his gun not need a cooldown, which most blaster heroes do. I'm pretty sure that actually they all do. Finn works well in every situation. In any game mode that heroes are allowed, Finn works in. And that makes him a very strong hero and a strong pick. He's got decent mobility, he's got decent health, with the ability to buff his health, and probably, if you use him paired with Yoda, would have really high survivability. Finn is one of those characters who can stay at long range because when you scope in, you're able to look down the sights and take on characters at longer range. In HVV, Finn is able to stay out of the effective range of most lightsaber users and stay out of the range of even their force abilities. This makes Finn a top pick in HVV almost all the time. Finn, I cannot say enough good things about you. You are an incredible character, and I hope that they can fix Phasma so that she will be as good, or at least decent. Hopefully, they will see my last video and pick out and make some new heroes on the light side so that I can make another list. And hopefully, the heroes on the lower end, even though I love playing Chewbacca and Leia and Luke, I hope that they can get those heroes fixed and make them at least comparable to what the other heroes are. I appreciate you guys watching this video. It is a new era for my channel as I have just changed the name and I am going to be doing a lot more video games. This is just the start, and if you guys enjoyed my Star Wars content, go ahead and tell me to make some more down in the comments below. I really enjoy Star Wars. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, fantasy sci-fi universes that has ever been created. It's really enjoyable for me to watch and play, and I really want to bring more content to you. If you guys want me to go back to Overwatch, I will, and that's fine. But for now, I'm going to be going in the direction of more games and less stationary type things like playing this one game. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. This has been the Modern Day Gamer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.